Across the dinner table, my 10-year-old daughter met my eyes and gave a subtle nod. She had received the same text as I had, one single word: start. The fork in my hand froze halfway to my mouth. My phone vibrated again, just once, and a new message appeared on the screen. Don't react. Go to the bathroom. For a moment, the world around me felt unreal. The soft hum of conversation, the laughter, the faint clink of plates, everything blurred into background noise. My stomach turned heavy, as if gravity itself had thickened. I slid my chair back slowly, forcing a calm I didn't feel, and motioned for my daughter to follow. Minutes later, we stepped quietly into the bathroom. The door creaked open, revealing my wife's sister standing there, pale and trembling. Her hands shook as she whispered, "Take your money and documents. Leave now." Before I could ask why, a thunderous explosion ripped through the house, a deafening bang that seemed to split reality itself. The floor trembled beneath us. I froze, heart pounding, 1,000 thoughts crashing into one another. That sound wasn't just destruction. It was revelation, the sound of betrayal finally breaking its silence. I remember the first time I saw her, my wife. Her laughter had filled the air with warmth. She had this effortless charm, a way of turning ordinary days into something memorable. We built a life together, thread by thread, late-night talks, shared dreams, plans that felt eternal. For years, I believed nothing could tear it apart. I believed she couldn't tear it apart. Our daughter became the heart of that world, my anchor, my peace. She brought light even to the dullest days. But somewhere along the line, the warmth began to fade. At first, it was subtle. A missed call, a late meeting, a weekend trip that didn't quite add up. I ignored the signs. Love has a way of blinding reason. I told myself I was paranoid insecure. But soon, small cracks turned into fractures. Bank statements appeared that didn't belong. Receipts from hotels she never mentioned. Her phone was always locked now, even at home. She smiled when I asked questions, that same perfect smile, but there was a hesitation behind it, a pause I had never noticed before. My gut screamed something's wrong. But my heart whispered, trust her. So I waited. Chaos would only destroy us faster. I chose patience instead, the kind that cuts deeper than anger. I began watching, listening, recording. For months, I became invisible inside my own home, the perfect husband, the quiet observer. Every conversation, every unexplained transaction, every carefully rehearsed lie, I logged it all. I learned her patterns better than she knew herself. At night, when the house fell silent, I reviewed my findings like evidence. Hidden cameras captured what words couldn't. Backups of her messages sat encrypted on drives she would never find. She was clever, yes, but I was patient. Her greatest weakness was her need for control. She had to be the one calling the shots, shaping the story, deciding the narrative. So, I decided she would never see her own ending coming. Over the following weeks, I built my escape and my revenge. I opened hidden accounts under different names. Slowly, I redirected funds, piece by piece, until our finances looked normal on the surface but hollowed underneath. I contacted lawyers through anonymous tips, feeding them small fragments of truth that could later form a full picture. Meanwhile, I prepared for my daughter, documents, passports, a secret bag packed beneath the floorboard. Every step was deliberate, every action quiet, every breath a countdown. She continued her double life, the loving wife by day, the whispering liar by night, unaware that her entire web was collapsing in slow motion. I wasn't angry anymore. I was focused. That night, everything looked ordinary. Dinner, laughter, a family scene that could have belonged to anyone. The smell of roasted food, the faint echo of music. It all played like background noise to the storm building beneath. Then, my phone buzzed once more, the signal. Start. I didn't move. My daughter didn't either. We just looked at each other, silent, understanding in our eyes. Predators don't roar before striking, they wait. We stood, excusing ourselves quietly, and slipped into the bathroom. My wife's sister waited, trembling. "Take it," she said, pressing a small envelope into my hand.
"Leave."
The rest of her words were swallowed by a second blast. Glass shattered. Screams. I grabbed my daughter, the envelope, the bag. Years of planning condensed into seconds. We ran. The night outside was cold and sharp. The air burned my lungs, but it also tasted like freedom. Fear was momentary. Clarity was permanent. In the days that followed, the empire she'd built, the facade of her perfect life, began to collapse. Emails leaked. Accounts froze. Every secret she'd buried surfaced with precision, one after another. Her friends turned silent, confused, distant. The lies she had crafted began devouring her. I never raised my voice. I didn't need to. The truth worked quietly, elegantly. Revenge didn't need to scream to be heard. When the confrontation came, it wasn't in our home. It was in a courtroom. She stood there, trembling but defiant, still trying to twist the story. But I had already anticipated every move, every word, every tear, every attempt to shift blame. Her voice cracked. Her hands shook. The power she once wielded like a weapon was gone. Every lie, every manipulation, laid bare before strangers. And for the first time, she had no control left. The gavel's sound echoed like a heartbeat ending. The courtroom held its breath as she stood defeated, her world reduced to evidence and truth. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I just watched quietly as the storm she created finally consumed her. When my daughter and I walked out, she slipped her small hand into mine. Her grip was steady, fearless. I let her feel my calm. We didn't celebrate. We just understood. The nightmare was over. Home was quieter now, too quiet perhaps. The laughter that once filled the walls was gone, replaced by something heavier, but also more honest. My daughter played in the living room, humming softly, her world already beginning to heal. I sat by the window, watching the light shift through the curtains. For the first time in years, I felt peace, not joy, but something cleaner. The satisfaction of survival. The quiet power of truth. In her destruction, I found something unexpected, clarity. Betrayal doesn't always explode. Sometimes it drips slowly, silently. And revenge doesn't have to be loud to be complete. Sometimes the calmest hand delivers the sharpest strike. I am not angry. I am not broken. I am precise. I am the eye of the storm she thought she controlled. And now we are finally free.